I'm going to show you how to create a funky bass sound. So I'm starting off with oscillator 1 here, have its volume turned up, and I have it turned to a saw wave. I'm just going to pitch it all the way down, the 64-foot setting. And then I'm going to add a little bit of portamento, not a lot. But just enough that on a whole octave there's a little bit of slide that you can just hear it. And then I'm going to add in oscillator 2. I have it set to a square wave. And you hear it's the same exact tuning right now. I'm going to just slightly detune it. And you hear the sound changing over time. If I speed it up, you hear it very quickly. And then now more subtle. And that's what I'm going for, that subtle sound. And while I'm in the oscillator section here, I'm going to turn up the sub-oscillator a bit. You can turn this up as desired. When I'm playing bass sounds, it's usually down low anyway, so you don't necessarily always need a lot of sub-oscillator at this range. So I'm just going to add not that much, just so that there's a little bit of extra rumble down there. Now moving to the filter. I have it set to 24 dB. That's the ideal setting for doing bass sounds. Close it down a bit and add some envelope. Give it a good dose of envelope modulation. And then adjust the decay and release. And I usually set my release just a little bit shorter than the decay. And then do the same with the amp. Just have everything down, bring up the decay and release a little bit shorter than the decay. And then back to the filter, I'll tweak that a bit, add some resonance. And cut off down, and this is kind of where you tweak it to your desired amount. I mean, if you wanted some really funky, zappy sound, or I like it to have a bit of resonance, but not too much, just right around there. So you hear a bit of that zap, but it's not taking over the sound. And then the last thing I'll do is switch it to mono mode. And the reason for that is that you can then cut out. And if you switch to legato, then that will behave differently, where it doesn't re-trigger the envelopes. And that's handy for doing stuff like this. Kind of sliding down the frets. And that's your funky bass sound.